Today I fucked up by ejaculating while getting my teeth cleaned at the dentist and getting my blood drawn in the process. It was time again for my biannual dentist visit. So I go to my dental office like any other visit. No big deal, right? As I'm sitting in the waiting area, I hear my name called out. It's my turn to get my teeth cleaned yet again. They're gonna tell me the same thing, just keep brushing and flossing and we'll see you in 6 months. Whatever. When I saw my dental hygienist, my young 20s self immediately found her attractive. You're all probably thinking, well, everyone is wearing a mask and the hygienists are in long garbs/scrubs. What could possibly get your attention? See, the thing is, the dental hygienist had some very obviously large melons, and to top it off, I'm a titty guy. And there's just something about big knockers trying so hard to desperately be hidden that they become too big to hide. Shamelessly, it's a kink of mine. It was very apparent that this was happening and my disgusting mind was just enamored. I kept my cool though. No big deal. Titties are titties and all women have them. I follow her into the room where I sit on the comfy chair and watch HGTV while she cleans my teeth. Immediately when she started cleaning my teeth, I knew this was gonna be a hard time for me. Her breasts were touching my head a majority of the time, and she often reached over me to grab whatever tools she needed to continue her cleaning. Multiple times this would mean her unexposed boobies were all in my face. With all of this unintentional stimulation around me, as well as maybe some friction in my pants every time I needed to adjust, I ended up ejaculating in my pants. And this caused me to instinctively jerk my body. Quarantine has been an unintentional dry spell, I guess. At the time my dental hygienist was scraping off plaque with that sharp pick-like tool, and me suddenly convulsing like a fish out of water caused her to accidentally cut part of my lower right gum, causing my gum to spill a little more blood than someone who tried to floss for the first time after 10 years of not flossing. My gums aren't sensitive, but damn did this hurt. She handled the situation well, and she had me simply rinse out my mouth with water a few times, and she blotted the gum cut with tissue paper for a few minutes until the bleeding finally settled down. She also would not stop apologizing, which only added to my shame. I was embarrassed and ashamed. We finish up, I schedule my next appointment for 6 months later. She apologizes more. I thank her without even making eye contact because I'm still so ashamed at what happened, and just leave the dental office, now with a slightly sore lower right gum as well as freshly cum-stained pants. And now I'm sitting here in my home typing away to share this on Reddit, still wearing cum-filled pants. TLDR, accidentally jizzed my pants while having my teeth cleaned by the dental hygienist because her breasts kept accidentally touching my head/face, which was enough, I guess, which also caused her to accidentally cut part of my gum. Edit, I forgot this detail because I was very shook earlier. It's worth noting that my pants were black. So unless anyone noticed me walking slightly funny on the way out, it was barely a noticeable stain. So then wet stains in general don't show right away. Though TMI, but looking at them as of right now, a few hours later, there is a visibly dried faint white splotch that is starting to show on the front side. Not that it matters. Also, no, I'm not planning to ask anyone out. This was just some freak accident that I shamefully decided to share. Edit 2, I changed my pants, y'all. I'm just saying I still have the cum-stained ones here and I'll get to washing them this weekend or something. Took them off as soon as I got home. Edit 3, I understand how wrong this was. I still feel ashamed from it, especially the circumstance in which it happened. I didn't mean to blow it for those blaming me. Also, another correction, never did I mention she had a low-cut shirt. She was fully covered head to toe. Also, I'm fairly certain she was new, since I haven't seen her before, and she mentioned to me a few times how she's still learning how things work, like regular processes and even the computer system they use. Which may explain the whole reaching over me, because I definitely did find this out of the ordinary, but her being new to it all could explain a lot of things. But did she know why you were convulsing? I'm in my last year of dental school, and honestly she may have thought she just hit a spot that's sensitive. Some people are jumpy with that stuff, lol. This is insane. I was at the hygienist yesterday, didn't come though. I was getting my teeth cleaned and her breasts brushed my face. Jizz in my pants. Don't jizz your pants at the dentist is my best advice. Sometimes you just look at the titles of these things and think how the fuck could this possibly have happened, but by the end of it you're thinking how the fuck could this have possibly happened. This was one of those times. Welcome to r/today I fucked up. The stories are made up and the points don't matter. Today I fucked up by not having access to porn and ending up having to delete my Spotify account. Okay, this happened a few days ago. I was on a family vacation. I was not going to watch porn there. I didn't bring my laptop and I would not watch porn on my phone ever because there's no guest mode on a phone and I'm a good half-decent family man. Anyway, I was horny as fuck as I always am and I wanted porn but I couldn't get porn. Eventually I went to Spotify thinking I would find nothing but there's porn for sure. So it's just a picture but it's nice. Anyway, do my business and next day I find that it stayed in my recent searches. No big deal, just clear that. I then found Spotify has a history. You cannot under any circumstances clear it. It goes back months upon months. Okay, that's fine, no one will look at that. Scroll down 4.36 microns and in recent listening it showed the pictures. Fuck. In podcasts it recommended porn podcasts like fucking phone sex. It's more than just moaning and groaning and stuff like that. I'm fucked. So I deleted my account and made a new one and boom, end of story. Too long, didn't read. I tried finding porn on Spotify and ending up deleting my account. Whoops, skeptical. Not in a million years I would have thought to find porn on Spotify. 8th rule of the internet: if it has a search bar, someone will attempt to find porn with it. This guy has read it and jacked off to Spotify. Oh my. Do you not have incognito on your browser? How do people not know about this? Or even use Reddit app, then clear history and recent views? That's so roundabout. Like using your dishwasher to try and soft boil an egg. I'm gonna completely change your world. Reddit has a metric shit ton of porn. Today I fucked up by having a really long name and getting kicked out of Russia because of it. So, a short explanation: this happened a year and a half ago. I just decided to post this now because I still think it's a pretty funny story to tell. On with the story. My parents decided to give me both of their last names. This means that I have 6 names in total, 2 first names, 4 last names. On top of that, they're uncommon last names in my country. I was never too bothered by it. It was a bit annoying at times, but a good conversation starter. In 2019, some friends and I decided to go to St. Petersburg for New Year's Eve. Russia was allowing people to visit St. Petersburg with a temporary visa that you could get online. While filling out the form for the visa, my name didn't fit the given space. So, in my innocence, I thought that taking one of my last names was okay, that it wouldn't matter. Oh, how wrong I was. On the 30th of December, we caught an overnight bus in Tallinn, Estonia, that would take us to St.P, stopping only in Narva, the border city, for a visa and passport check. 4 AM rolls around, the bus stops in a, sort of, military border, and we hand in our documents. When I hand in mine, the lady that received them looks at me very seriously, double checks my papers, and grabs the, weirdly old, Soviet-styled, phone. Soldier with a tiny hat comes in, looks at me, looks at her, looks at my papers, and back at me, and also grabs the phone to call someone else. In comes another military man, whom I assume was their boss since he had a bigger hat, and does the same round of looks. Me, lady, soldier, papers, me again. He tells me in the thickest Russian accent I've ever heard, come with me. He leads me through a door and we start walking around in what felt like a maze of office cubicles. We reach a room with a broken chair, a dirty table, and a flickering light bulb. He tells me to sit down, puts my papers on the table, grabs his phone. At this point I was scared shitless of what in the world was going to happen. He writes something on it and puts it on the table for me to see. It's Google Translate Russian English and it's spelled your name is wrong. You must leave. Fucking great. Now I have to explain through Google Translate that my name didn't fit the online form. After almost an hour of trying to explain and argue, in very calm voices because trying to feel entitled and demanding to Russian soldiers didn't seem like a good idea, we get nowhere. They tell us that I need to do an express visa if I need to enter the country and that it would cost me 120 euros. We would need to go back to Narva and go to the consulate to do this. A soldier leads me and my friends, who were true comrades, and decided to stay back with me, away from the military station / border control. It was raining at this point, it was still dark, close to 6 AM, and the soldier stops at the end of the border, looks at me, points at the other side of the border, and says that is Narva. Go. And so, we walk back to Narva, sleepy, soaked, and frustrated. We go through the border control on the Narva side and find some couches there, where we sit down and try to sleep for a bit. We were woken up by a very angry lady shouting at us in Russian, but we understood the message. We couldn't sleep there, we needed to go. The consulate would only open at 9 AM, so we decided to go eat something, anywhere that was open. We found this hotel and managed to sit down and get some coffee. One of the weirdest parts of this town was that no one, and I really mean no one, could speak Estonian. One of my friends was Estonian, and we thought that that might make things easier, but none at all. It's finally 9 AM. And we reach the consulate. Let me try and describe this place as best as I can. It felt like we were time traveling to an old USSR office. Everyone looked miserable, the walls were painted in pale beige and military green alternatively. The secretary there spoke Russian, and nothing else, again, of weird since this was a consulate and we were in Estonia. She was not understand anything that we were trying to say and trying to send us away. Finally, she managed to understand that we wanted to speak with the consul, and she told us to sit and wait. She sat at her desk and picked up the ringing phone, which was this old military green rotary phone, that actually matched the walls and the vibe of the place. After a long wait, the consul finally arrives, and I start explaining what happened. Luckily he spoke English. Initially, he's dismissive and assuming that I just made a mistake with the online form, but after explaining that I actually couldn't fit my name on the form, he asked, "Does everyone in your country have such long names?" "No sir, they do not." There was nothing he could do. I would just have to the travel agency next door and pay the 120 euros to get the express visa. We head to the travel agency and after a short but ridiculously slow line, I finally managed to talk to someone. They looked at my papers, then at me, back at the papers, and grabbed the phone to call someone. In comes a lady, she looks at me, at the papers, at the other lady, and grabs the phone. After the phone call, she goes away, and the travel agency woman looks at me and says, "Sorry, this is very complicated. It'll take a while." After 2 hours or so they call me back and the travel agency lady looks at me and very happily says, "We did it. We added a dot on one of your names and it works." At that moment, the only thing I could do was laugh, and say thank you. After that, we had to wait an absurdly long time for the visa to be printed, and at 4 PM that day, right before our bus left and the consulate closed, I got my visa done and paid for. We rushed to the bus, and on our way, we went. Too long didn't read, my huge name got me stopped at the Russian border when trying to visit St. Petersburg. Had to pay 120 euros for an express visa.